Hello everybody, Skin Deep Beauty Vlogger here. I hope you're all really well. Today I've got another video in Skin September, and it may seem surprising because we're nearing the end of Skin September that today I'm going back to basics, back to that fundamental step in your skincare routine, and I'm going to be talking about cleansing. It's really important to get cleansing right because it's the first step in your skincare regime, and you should be cleansing twice a day. Some people may like to double cleanse. I particularly think that's important if you wear heavy makeup and SPF, and if you live in a city, for example, where you've got a lot of grime and pollution that you're experiencing on a daily basis. But at the same time, if you've got sensitive skin, then I would avoid that. If you feel that you're cleansing effectively anyway, then it shouldn't be a problem. You definitely do need to cleanse twice a day though. It's just as important to cleanse in the morning as it is in the evening. Although you should have taken off your makeup the night before, you'll still have been sweating throughout the night, producing excess oils and, regenerating skin cells, shedding old ones. Why else would you wash your bed sheets? So it's just as important to wash your face in the morning as well. If you are going to double cleanse, then I would say that there's no need for a separate cleanser. You can use exactly the same one. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your money on two different products. I think it's better to spend the most you can afford on skincare, and so it's better to spend more on just one product than buying two separate products that aren't going to be as good. When looking for a cleanser, it can be a bit overwhelming because there's so many different types, and I also feel that traditionally skincare companies have really put out sort of the wrong type of advice, to be honest. Quite often they'll say that oily skin types need a foaming cleanser, and unsurprisingly they want to market those because they're packed with cheap ingredients, like cheap detergents such as sodium lauryl sulfate. And you just don't want to be putting those on your skin. I'm going to be getting into the different types of cleansers. I've got a table packed with different cleansers in front of me, so I'm going to be talking you through some different ones, some recommendations, some ones to avoid. And I think the main thing to choose is spend as much as you can on your cleanser. There was a while back there was kind of a thought that some people thought it was the most important step, which I really do believe, and I think more and more people are coming around to that idea. And so you should invest in a good cleanser, which, as I said, I believe in. Whereas some people were like, just get a cheap cleanser because it's on your skin for such a short amount of time. Frankly, I don't agree with that. As I said, I think it's a fundamental step, so I think it's important to get it right. And you really will notice the benefits if you get it right, in the same way that you will notice your skin not happy if you get it wrong. So I'm going to talk you through some different types of cleansers. It can be overwhelming because there's so many different types on the market. As I said, I think it's important to spend as much as you can afford to on a good cleanser, on all your skincare in fact, and also look out for a gentle cleanser. You don't want your skin to be aggravated before you've even started your skincare routine. So I'm going to start off with the most basic cleanser, and there's cleansing wipes, and frankly I don't recommend these. If you watch my channel regularly you'll know that I don't recommend them. They're fine if you're going to do absolutely nothing else, they're better than nothing. But there's a number of reasons why I disagree with these, the main one being that I just don't think they effectively cleanse enough. I've done a whole video on these, so I'm not going to comment on them for too long. I don't want to bore everyone and come across as really preachy. But as I said, I think that they're fine I think they're better than nothing. If you're too tired, if you're travelling, if you're a bit worse for wear, then great, by all means use a cleansing wipe, it's better than nothing. But in any other situation, and certainly on a daily basis, I wouldn't recommend them. I also think they're a bit of a false economy. I know a lot of people say that they use a wipe to take away the sort of bulk of their makeup and then they go in with a second cleanser. To be honest, I think that's a bit of a waste of money. I wouldn't recommend it. And if you're eco-conscious as well, then you're just adding to landfill. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. I don't think it's worthwhile. Just stick to using one good cleanser, and if you want to double cleanse, then by all means do so. Next up are cleansing waters, quite the cult product here on YouTube, particularly Bioderma. I'd say this is probably the most famous cleansing water, and I do like it. It's a cult product for a reason, but again, I don't recommend this for everyday use. Again, it's good if you're sort of a catwalk model and you want to take off your makeup quickly between shows. But for your day-to-day cleansing, again, it's just not going to get deep down enough into your pores to give you a good enough cleanse. Personally, I think that these are much better than face wipes. They're also quite quick and easy to use, so I always recommend these as an alternative if you are someone that uses face wipes. I do like Bioderma. Loads of companies do these now. Generally, I'd say the French skincare brands do them really well, as Bioderma would suggest. I've got one here from Darphin, which I'm looking forward to trying. I haven't tried it yet. My personal favourite is the This Works Clean Skin 5-in-1 cleansing water. Really like this. It's got a rose water base in it, so very good for sensitive skin. My dehydrated skin really likes this because it just seems to leave something on the skin it's not uncomfortable, but it feels like it's adding some sort of nourishment to my skin. So I personally really like this one, although I do have some issues with the packaging being a little bit on the bulky side. Another good one is from the Rhodial Dragon's Blood range, which is really good for dehydrated skin because it's got that wonder ingredient of hyaluronic acid in it. I've talked slightly about this range in my dehydrated skincare videos, so do check that out if you haven't already and if it's a concern for you. And we can really see that cleansing waters are becoming more of a mainstream product because the drugstore are also bringing out their versions as well, such as this one by L'Oreal, which if you look at the ingredients is actually pretty similar to Bioderma. So I haven't tried this one by L'Oreal as yet, but I'm looking forward to doing so and giving it a bit of a compare, see if it's a dupe for Bioderma. In addition to those cleansing waters, I've also tried ones by Lirac, Quarterly, which I quite liked, Aven. I've got reviews of those on my blog, so just do a search if you're interested. I really want it to almost be like a library resource if you are looking for a new brand. Out of the three, I would recommend the Quarterly. Next up are cleansing milks or lotions, and these are recommended if you have dry skin. Personally, I don't like them because I find them to be a little bit old-fashioned. I don't like faffing around with cotton pads and sort of having to wipe these off with them and then go in with a toner, and I just find it a little bit long-winded. But if you've got dry or even mature skin, then you may well get on well with these because they're just going to help to add some moisture back into your skin. I've got one here by LMS, which is a rehydrating rose petal cleanser, so great for dehydrated skin. Again, dry skin really likes rose water as well because it helps to lock in moisture. And again, good for sensitive and more mature skin types. And I've also got the Heaven by Deborah Mitchell Hydro Cleansing Milk. I really rate this brand very highly, and one of the ingredients in here is jojoba oil, which I always say is a good one to look out for because it's very similar molecularly to skin's natural sebum. And another brand that I really like is Elemental Herbology, and they've got a product called Delicate Cleanse. This again has got rose water in it, so good for sensitive skin, and it is designed for sensitive skin, this one. I really like the packaging. I think it's nice and functional, but also very chic in appearance. It's also got lots of fatty acids such as argan oil, very omega-rich products, very omega-rich ingredients, as well as soothing chamomile oil as well. This one you can remove with a damp muslin cloth, so if you want to add in that little manual exfoliation, that's going to be a little bit more beneficial. If you've got dry skin and you find products are difficult to absorb, then this could be a good choice for you. I haven't personally tried it as yet. I've got quite a few products here that are on my to-try list, but I don't want to overwhelm my skin, so I can't give you opinions on all of them, but I have heard that this is good if you suffer from redness, so maybe one to check out for those rosacea sufferers amongst you. Next up, I'm going to talk about a bit of baddie amongst the skincare, and that is foaming cleansers. Now, historically, these have been marketed at those of you that have oily skin because they strip the skin. But what they do is, yes, they do strip the skin of excess oils, but it tricks skin into thinking that your skin's been stripped, and then it overcompensates by overproducing oil. And so it's not really going to solve the problem. It quite often will leave you with a very tight feeling because your skin's been stripped, and I personally wouldn't recommend these. They're also not very good if you've got acne-prone skin because they tend to be quite harsh. It does depend on the foaming agent that they've used. Personally, I would avoid sodium lauryl sulfate if you can. It is pretty difficult to avoid, particularly if you're on a budget because it's such a cheap ingredient. It's very harsh. It interferes with the skin's natural acid mantle, which is the protective layer, and that has a sort of antibacterial effect, which is going to guard against acne, which is going to protect you against things like acne and blemishes. So you really don't want to be messing with that if you've got blemish-prone skin. So personally, I would avoid the foaming cleansers if you suffer from such concerns. A way of knowing that those aren't very good, by the way, is quite often they'll leave your skin feeling squeaky clean, which some people might like, but you're not supposed to get your skin that squeaky clean. That means that you're messing with the acid mantle, you're really stripping it. It's not going to be doing you any good, so you don't want to be going for that feeling. Yes, you want to clean your skin and cleanse it thoroughly, but you don't want it to be squeaky clean. While I'm having a bit of a rant, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about exfoliating cleansers, which again I don't recommend. Generally these tend to be quite cheap. They tend to have those physical exfoliants in them, such as peach kernels or walnut shells, which I generally don't recommend. because they're very harsh, they can break capillaries, they're not going to give you an even exfoliation. I just don't recommend them. But the main reason why I don't recommend an exfoliating cleanser is because it's going to cause you to over exfoliate. Most people, increasingly I'm hearing of people exfoliating far too regularly, and that's going to sensitize your skin, and it could also cause it to overproduce oil. You just don't want to be doing that. So it's again a reason why I personally don't like the Clarisonic. If you've got dry skin, then you can get away with exfoliating that little bit more regularly, but still don't overdo it, because it can cause problems. On a more positive note now, I'm going to talk about cleansing oils. I love oil cleansing. Now, if you've got oily skin or even combination skin, then you could be thinking right now, has she lost her mind? Why would I put oil on my oily skin? It's just going to feel greasy and horrible. Actually, you're wrong. I'm going to get a little bit scientific now and explain like dissolves like in science. So oil-based cleansers are really, really good if you have oily skin, because they're not going to strip the skin, and it's not going to sort of resolve the problem of you having oily skin. You can't change your skin type sort of that easily, but what it will do is have a balancing effect, and it will take away the excess oils without stripping it. It won't be left feeling tight, and your skin won't freak out and go into overproduction mode, because it will just have taken away the excess oils, but without sort of stripping all of the oils out. And you know, your skin does need some oil. It's there for a reason. It stops you being dehydrated. And it's a good anti-ager as well. If you've got oily skin, generally you'll show the signs of age slower as well. So don't be afraid of oils. Personally, I think they're fantastic because they lend themselves well to facial massage. They're also very good if you wear makeup on a daily basis, which, let's face it, most of us do. They're very effective at dissolving that makeup. Again, a lot of oil-based products in makeup, so that like attracts like. It makes it just a complete breeze to remove your makeup. Generally, these cleansing oils tend to be produced in a way that they emulsify in contact with water, and they turn into a little milk, rinse away very, very easily, and you don't feel like greasy, and there's no greasy residue left on the skin. This is one by Bobbi Brown. I haven't tried that one yet. I've got the Shuamura one, which is the cult one, but personally I wouldn't recommend this. I know L'Oreal do one, which looks quite similar on first impressions. I haven't had a chance to look at it closely. I wouldn't recommend this personally because it contains mineral oil. Some people have absolutely no problems with mineral oil, but if you're acne prone, you may want to avoid a mineral oil based oil cleanser. One way of doing so could be to go for a natural brand such as Nude. I've recently reviewed this one on my blog. Really nice and indulgent because it's got a sort of geranium and rose fragrance to it. And a couple of my personal favourites, I really like the Dermalogica Pre-Cleanse. Generally, I'm not like the hugest fan of Dermalogica, but I can't deny that some of their products are pretty good. And again, this is mineral oil free. I really like it. I've done a review of this on my blog. The only thing that sort of puts me off this one is the price. I do always say you should spend as much as you can afford to on your skincare, but the Dermalogica one really reminds me quite a lot of my Holy Grail cleansing oil, and this is the DHC Deep Cleansing Oil, which is an olive oil based cleansing oil. I find it very, very effective. I love this, and it's very affordable as well. In fact, much better value for money than the Dermalogica one, which to me feels very similar on the skin. So this would be the one that I would recommend out of all the cleansing oils that I've tried. Another reason that I recommend the DHC is because, as I said, it contains an olive oil base. When you're choosing a cleansing oil, it's beneficial to look for ones that are based on cold pressed vegetable oils. They're going to have a benefit which mineral oil ones just can't offer you, and that is that they're going to be high in those essential fatty acids which skin loves. As I said, mineral oil can clog pores in some people. Not everyone experiences that, but why take the risk if you've got acne prone skin? If you suffer from dryness, I would watch out for a castor oil base, because you might be thinking, oh, an oil's going to do me good, but it can actually cause dryness. So just watch out if it's got castor oil as an ingredient if you've got dry skin. Last but not least are cleansing balms, which I really like and what I use in my evening skincare routine to really deep cleanse, get deep into those pores and effectively remove my makeup, my sunscreen, any dirt and debris on my skin throughout the day. The Hardie one has got quite the cult following here in blogger and YouTuber land, and for good reason. Terrible packaging, but it is a really lovely product. Just watch out for it if you've got sensitive skin, because it has got a high essential oil content, which makes it feel very indulgent to use, but some people can be a bit sensitive to that. Balm style cleansers are often oil based, as this one is, so again they're going to lend themselves well to that facial massage as with the cleansing oils and help to dissolve that like with like, so you're dissolving your makeup and any excess oils on the skin. Very indulgent to use. If they're solid at room temperature, then they can sort of melt into the skin, feel wonderful. So many different brands are doing cleansing balms now. You know, you don't have to spend a lot of money. As I said, you should spend as much as you can afford, but brands such as Boots Botanics are doing one. I believe the Body Shop have just brought one out as well. Lush have been offering Ultra Blend for years, which is a peanut oil based one, so obviously not suitable for nut allergy sufferers, but a pretty good one if you're on a budget. And what I would say, if you are on a budget, in fact not only if you're on a budget, because the LMS one just off the top of my head contains shea butter, do watch out for ones that contain shea butter if you're acne prone, because I know that as soon as I put shea butter on my skin it just goes crazy and breaks out. So just watch out for your ingredients when you're choosing your cleansing balm. So many brands offer them now. Clinique have brought one out that's causing quite a lot of hype. I really like this Age Delay Cleansing Oil, which it's a balm cleanser, I think the name is a bit misleading, which is by Alpha H. Personally I get on better with a tube packaging. I think it's more hygienic and less messy. And I'm looking forward to trying this one by one of my favourite brands, Moringa, which is their thermal cleansing balm. And this is almost like a mud texture, which I think will be nice for my acne prone skin. I'm really excited to try this. I believe Ren also do one that's got a clay base in it, which you might want to look out for if you have problem skin. The reason that cleansing balm is so good is that you use it after you've massaged it into your skin. You hold a hot cloth such as a flannel, a washcloth, or a muslin cloth. Personally I prefer a flannel because not only are they cheap, so I can buy loads in bulk and just get rid of them every time, just throw them into the wash. But they also hold the heat of the water a little bit better. Now you only want that to be sort of washing your hands hot. You don't want it to be steaming hot because that can dry out the skin. It can also cause redness if you're sort of prone to that. Dry out the skin and even break capillaries as well if you're sort of very sensitive. So what I do is once I've got the product on my skin, I'll then hold that hot flannel, really let the steam sort of open up the pores. Pores aren't doors, they're not going to open and close, but you get the rough idea. I'm trying to keep things basic, and give you a really deep down cleanse, and then you can use slightly circular motions to rub that away, and that will give you a nice gentle manual exfoliation as well. Again, great at the end of the day when you want to quickly and effectively remove your makeup. Hopefully that's given you some ideas on products to look out for, ones that I really like, some new ones maybe that are coming onto market. When you are applying your cleanser, you want to sort of make sure you're covering your whole face, so sort of dot it around, and then you want to use circular motions to massage it into the skin, and you want to work outwards and upwards as well. So starting from the centre of the face and working outwards, and also going upwards, because that's going to give you an anti-gravity effect and have sort of a slightly anti-aging benefit, you know, as opposed to pulling your skin down. Nobody wants to do that. Take it down your neck as well. It can be an area that shows signs of age pretty quickly because people tend to forget about it. I really hope that you found this useful. If you've enjoyed it and you're not already subscribed, then please do so. There's a button just below, and I will see you all soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!